Hey there, welcome back. I'm really glad you're here because September is shaping up to be another important month for Social Security. This time around, the changes aren't just about when your money lands, but also how the system itself is running after hitting a big milestone. We're talking about a program that just turned 90 years old in August. And now, right as we head into fall, it's facing a mix of modernization, controversy, and everyday issues that impact millions of families just like yours. And here's the part that makes this month especially unique. Because September starts on Labor Day, the timing quirks in the payment calendar means some of you get your money even before the month begins. Others will see payments roll out in staggered waves across the month. On top of that, the Social Security Administration is officially moving ahead with its paper check phase out. Phone wait times are being reported as much shorter, and the trust fund projections are shifting yet again. So yeah, there's a lot happening. And before we get into the full schedule, let me ask you something. If you could change one thing about Social Security today, what would it be? Faster service, clearer letters, bigger cost of living adjustments? Leave a comment below. I read them all, and it helps build a real community here. And if these updates are useful, take a moment to subscribe so you never miss what's coming next. Now here's the September 2025 payment schedule. If you're on SSI, you receive your check on Friday, August 29th. That's because September 1st is Labor Day, a federal holiday, and the SSA doesn't process payments on weekends or holidays. So instead of your normal September 1st payment, it shows up a few days early, and that's not extra money. It's just the September check arriving ahead of time. If your benefits started before May 1997 or you receive both SSI and Social Security, your regular Social Security payment comes on Wednesday, September 3rd. For everyone else, the payment dates are tied to your birthday. If your birthday is between the 1st and the 10th of the month, your payment arrives on Wednesday, September 10th. Birthdays from the 11th through the 20th are paid on Wednesday, September 17th. And if your birthday falls between the 21st and the 31st, your check arrives on Wednesday, September 24th. So here's the bottom line. If you're on SSI, you see your deposit in late August. If you're on Social Security and have one of those birthday ranges, your date is coming up mid-month. Make sure you circle your exact date on the calendar because missing it, even by a day, can cause unnecessary stress. Now, one of the biggest shifts this month isn't about dates, but about how payments arrive. But today, starting September 30th, the SSA is officially phasing out most paper checks. Instead, benefits are being routed through direct deposit or the Treasury-backed Direct Express card. The argument here is pretty clear. Paper checks are about 16 times more likely to be lost, stolen, or tampered with compared to electronic payments. And maintaining the check infrastructure costs taxpayers hundreds of millions every year. Electronic transfers are faster, safer, and cost just pennies compared to the old way. But here's where it gets tricky. Even though less than 1% of beneficiaries still receive paper checks, that still translates to more than 500,000 households. These are often people who are older, living in rural areas, unbanked, or coping with health conditions that make technology a barrier. After pushback from lawmakers and advocates, the SSA agreed to carve out exceptions. That means people over 90, individuals with certain cognitive impairments, or those in areas without practical banking access can still receive checks. If you think you qualify, you can call their dedicated waiver line. The message from the SSA is no one will be left behind. But the reality is that for many people, switching to a prepaid debit card or online portal feels like a steep learning curve. Meanwhile, the SSA has been touting its progress on service. Officials say average phone wait times have dropped from nearly half an hour in 2024 to just under 10 minutes now. They also claim in-office appointments are moving faster, with average waits around 6 minutes, and that the online My Social Security portal is now fully available 24/7 with fewer outages. Nearly 90% of calls are now being handled through automated systems or callbacks. That sounds good on paper, but some advocacy groups argue the numbers may be overly rosy. For example, if you request a callback and wait an hour, much of that time doesn't show up in the official statistics. And if you're stuck in the automated system without speaking to a person, your case might be marked resolved, even if nothing was actually fixed. So the SSA is clearly moving toward a digital-first future, but the experience varies widely depending on who you are and what kind of help you need. If you just want to check your benefit amount, the online tools might save you time. But if you're dealing with something complicated like an overpayment letter or a name change, you might still face delays. Speaking of overpayments, this is one of the most stressful issues hitting people right now. As of this year, the SSA can withhold up to 5% of your monthly benefit to recover overpayments. That's a step back from rare but brutal cases where they used to withhold 100%, but it's still a huge financial hit. And the scary part is that many of these overpayments aren't your fault. They can come from agency errors, outdated records, or even a misunderstanding about income reporting. I've already heard from people who received letters demanding tens of thousands of dollars back, money they simply don't have. So here's the advice. Don't ignore these letters. You have the right to appeal, request a waiver, or set up a payment plan. And if you can show hardship, the SSA may reduce how much they take from each check. But the clock starts ticking the moment you get that notice, so act quickly. Also, financially, there's more pressure ahead. The 2025 Trustees Report now projects the combined trust funds will run out in 2034, 1 year sooner than previously expected. That doesn't mean Social Security is going bankrupt. What it does mean is that without action from Congress, the program will only be able to pay about 81% of scheduled benefits from incoming payroll taxes. In other words, automatic cuts of around 19% would kick in. Some politicians say the solution is raising taxes. Others say raising the retirement age, and others argue for a mix of changes. But one thing is clear, without a long-term fix, everyone will feel the impact. There are also a few bright spots this year. The repeal of the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset is fully in place. That means public sector retirees, teachers, firefighters, police officers are finally receiving their full benefits without penalties. More than 3 million people have been affected by this change, and over $17 billion has already gone out in retroactive payments. For many families, that's been life-changing. On top of that, the One Big Beautiful Bill included a new $6,000 tax deduction for eligible seniors running through 2029. That can mean a lower tax bill for many retirees, though it's not automatic. You'll need to claim it when you file. And for those planning retirement, the benefit structure is still worth considering. The average retirement benefit is now just over $2,020, with SSI averaging about $718. But if you retire early at 62, the maximum you'll see is about $2,831 per month. Wait until full retirement at 67, and that goes up to about $4,018. Delay until 70, and you could see as much as $5,180 a month. Next, looking ahead, a cost of living adjustment for 2026 is projected at about $2,000. For the average retiree, that would mean about $55 more per month. But keep in mind, Medicare Part B premiums are likely to rise too, which means much of that increase could be eaten up by healthcare costs. So, with all that in mind, here's your September checklist. Mark your exact payment date on the calendar, especially if you're juggling bills around your deposit. If you're still getting paper checks, switch to direct deposit or direct express before the September 30th deadline, unless you qualify for an exception. If you receive an overpayment letter, respond quickly to protect your income and use the online tools whenever possible, but don't rely on them entirely. Know that you may still need to push for help if your case is complicated. And if you've had any surprises with your payments, whether it's a letter you didn't expect, a delay, or a new experience with the online system, share it in the comments. Your story could really help someone else out there. If this helped you, give it a like so more people can find it. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. I'll walk you through more updates as soon as they're out. Thanks so much for spending some time with me today. Take care, stay informed, and I'll see you soon.